love traveling. In the past few years, I've traveled to at least 2 new places every year. And every time I come up from a trip, I'm so filled with amusement and inspiration of the places I have visited, the people I have met, and the lessons I have learned. But the last trip was extraordinary. Dear Toastmaster of the Day, fellow members and guests, today I will take you with me to an exceptional place, an exceptional country, and introduce you to a nation of champions. So fasten your seatbelts and let's go. It was the beginning of last month when I was preparing myself for my first trip to a sub-Saharan African country, Rwanda. Before my trip, I wanted to learn a bit about the country, so started researching. Google told me that it's a country in the east of Africa, landlocked, very small, and it has been through a horrendous genocide, unbelievable one, but they overcame that. And now, tourism in that country is the fastest growing industry. And the capital's name is Kigali. So I thought, okay, I know enough, I'm ready to go there, and there won't be any surprises. After a very long flight, I reached the airport of Kigali. And the first thing, of course, that I would do is look for a Wi-Fi. There it was, actually, very quickly connecting without the need to log in or anything. I took the bus. It was after midnight. I took the bus to the hotel. And there was a Wi-Fi as well in the bus. I started looking outside, wanting to know more about the city. It was clearly a hilly city, and the streets were very clean. I looked around and I saw something very surprising. A blonde lady wearing shorts, jogging on the street, in the empty street alone after midnight. I thought, how safe is this place? And I got really curious. The next day, I called one of my Rwandese friends. She is a successful lady that works in tourism. I called her, and she directly replied. As a generous Rwandese, she invited me over to her house and sent me the driver. On the way, and under the sunlight, I could see the beautiful hills in the city. I could notice the modern country, the modern building. I was fascinated by the energy and the vibe the city had. And I couldn't resist wondering, how could a country this small, a nation this little, this poor, be able to rise up after a catastrophe such as the one they've been through in just 22 years? My thoughts stopped when we reached the gate. The gate opened, and there was a wonderful garden filled with beautifully colorful, artistically shaped grass. And my friend came out of the house with her arms wide open. She embraced me, and it felt like the whole Rwanda is giving me an official welcome. She noticed my amusement with the nature, so she invited me upstairs to the balcony. And there, it overlooked a neighborhood of beautifully made villas and very elegant gardens. She told me she moved there in 2008 with her family. And back then, that house was the only one in the neighborhood. She told me, this is a symbol of what Rwanda stands for. We shouldn't stick to our past, but we should look forward and work for the future. And then she started telling me the story of Rwanda. Rwandese, in the old times, consisted of a nation of one ethnicity. They share one language. Usually, the farmers will be called Hutu, And the wealthy people are called Tutsis. Wealth was measured by the number of cows a person has. So a Hutu will be able to be upgraded to a Tutsi if he has 10 cows. It remained like this until colonization started after World War II. And the colonization worked and planned a very dirty divide to rule game. They converted this social division between Hutu and Tutsis to a division of ethnicity. They started measuring people. They would measure the height of the person, the size of the forehead and nose, and based on these measurements, they would decide whether this person is a Hutu or a Tutsi. And then they will stamp it on his ID. Division and the gap widened between Hutu and Tutsis as wars started and fights over the years until 1994. A genocide happened. Hutus killed almost 1 million of Tutsis in 100 days. Neighbors killed their own neighbors and colleagues. A smell of blood and hate was all everywhere. In 100 days, the country was destroyed. Afterwards, a group of fighters took over, and they had two main goals. They wanted to build a united country, but first, to avoid any kind of revenge, no matter what happened. And so they did. They made their own, they went back to their culture and heritage and made their own court system. It's called Gashasha. And Gashasha was able to bring Hutus and Tutsis together to rebuild the country. The secret was in the leadership. The secret was in the culture. That's what transferred a nation of haters to a nation of champions. That's what rebuilt the new Rwanda. I ended my visit to my friend tasting for the first time the passion fruit, but I won't tell you about the passion fruit here. However, it injected me with passion to share this story with the world. And there's a lot more to say. Time is almost up. But if you would like to go with me, drive with me around Kigali, watch with me the beautiful places I've seen, learn about Gashasha more, and listen to insights from my Rwandese friends directly, then I would like to invite you all to follow my channel, Wakib Trips, on YouTube. Back to you.